Alright, welcome to Unit 3.4, Functions. Why do I keep doing that? Unit 3.4. Function. What's a function? What does it mean for something to function? It means for technology to work, to do its job. It means for the thing you're using to work properly, to do its job. Shoes function when they cover your feet. Pencils function when they write, right? So a function, in this case, is a special relationship between values each input also known as our x value, has exactly one output. Which is our y value. So it's the idea that something works like it should. If you put a quarter in a gumball machine, you should get a gumball. That's the gumball machine's function. Quarter, gumball. One input, quarter. One output, gumball. If you put in a quarter and get no gumball, then it's not functional. It's not a function. It's not working. Get it? Right? So, but we can prove this mathematically, right? We can prove whether or not something is a function without actually building the machine. Okay, so let's suppose you have a set of ordered pairs or relations. Let's suppose that you have 0, 6, 5, -2, 7, 9, and 11, -1. All right, you have a relation, a set of numbers that are connected in some way, right? Now, each input x only has one output, right? So if I put in 0, I get out a 6. If I put in 0 and get a 4, it's not a function. So each input has to have only one output. There cannot be any repeaters. There's no repeaters. My x's are 0, 5, 7, 11. No repeaters. So it's a function. One input, one output. Quarter, gumball. Function. All right, now let's see one that's not a function. Suppose you had a set of numbers. Let's say you had -4, 1, -1, 7, -1, -2, and 5, 6. You can already see one input having two different outputs. In this one, we input a -1 and got a 7. And in this one, we input a -1 and got a 2. That's just not possible. It's not a function. That machine is not going to work. It's not going to work. One time you put in a quarter, it's going to give you a gumball. And the next time you put in a quarter, it's going to give you nothing. That's a broken machine. That's not a function. No broken machine. All right, so we have to determine whether something is a function or not a function, right? Several different ways we can do this. Again, we're doing the evens and you're doing the odds. All right, so if they give you the relations, all you have to do is look for repeating in the x value. If any of our x values repeat, it's not a function. This and this have different outputs. That means it's not a function. It's just that easy. I don't have to do any other math. Because it has repeating x values, it's not a function. That's it. Does it have repeating x values? None of those x values repeat. So it's a function, just like that. Super easy. Look for repeating x values. All right? What if they give it to you in a table? If they give it to you in a table, we're doing the evens. All you have to do again is look for repeating x values. Are there any repeating? No repeating. Function. Yes, it is a function because there are no repeating x values. Do you see any repeating x values? Do you see any repeating x values? If you see repeating x values, it's not a function. 8. Do you see any repeating x values? Not a function. Because we cannot type in 4 and get -3 and then type in 4 and get 2. That's not a function. It's a broken machine. Do you see any repeating x values? It's a function. It's really that easy. Just think about the bubble gum machine. Put in a quarter, get a gumball. If that works, it's functional. It works. It's a function. All right? 12. What if they give you the information in a map? This is even easier. Look. This has one output, one output, one output. This one has 2 outputs. If you put in -1, you might get -1, or you might get 7. 2 outputs. No, no, not a function. Not a function. Can't do that. Against the rules. Call the math police. So that's what you have to do. Look to see if there is one x value that has 2 y's. If x value repeats, it's not a function. Alright, there's another way to tell if it's on a graph. It's called the vertical line test. It's called that because we make a vertical line, but I don't want to jump the gun here. Alright, so the vertical line test says when the graph of a relation, when given the graph of a relation, suppose they give it to us on a graph instead of a table or a map or as a set of ordered pairs, which we've already just done. What if they give it to you on a graph? Right? The vertical line test can be used to determine whether the relation is a function. The vertical line test states if a vertical line, remember vertical is the up and down, the y-axis. If a vertical line intersects a graph more than once, it is not a function. Not a function. Show me. I'll show you. All right, so suppose you have a graph, x-axis, y-axis, label it because it's good practice. Oh, I almost made a mistake. Good practice. Suppose you have points on the graph. If you make a vertical line anywhere on this graph, anywhere, and it hits your line more than once, it hit it once here, it only hit it once on that vertical line, it only hit it once on that vertical line, it only hit it once on that vertical line, it only hit it once on that vertical line, that means it's a function. Right? Because the vertical line test says it only hits your points once. It only hit your line once for every vertical line. So what does it look like if it's not a function? X-axis, y-axis, point, 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 point. No, that's too many points. Let's do it this way so that you can at least see it travel. Alright, so now let's connect it with a line. So suppose your line goes like Alright, so if I do a vertical line test anywhere on the graph, right, let's do one right here. It goes through 1, 2 points, not a function. Because it goes through 2 points. Look at that. Again, it goes through 2 points. Look at that again. It goes through 2 points, not a function. If it goes through more than 1 point, it's not a function. So, let's practice that. Vertical line test. Sometimes you can tell just by looking. If there are 2 points on the same line, it's already, you could say, nope, not a function. Nope, 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 nope. Not a function. 2 points on the same vertical line. Not a function. Alright, let's see. Are there any 2 points on the same vertical line? I can make all the vertical lines. I can make vertical lines all day long. It's only going to cross my line once. I can make vertical lines all day long, and it's only going to cross my line once. So, function. Function. Oh, not a function. Look at it. If I make my vertical line right here, I cross my circle twice. Not a function. Oh my goodness. If I make a vertical line right here, I'm going to cross my line 1,000,000 times. Not a function. Not a function. No, not a function. You will not work. You're a bad machine. Alright? Play with the odd numbers. See if you can figure out which ones are functions and which ones are not functions. Using the vertical line test down here, make sure I can see your line, at least one vertical line to test it. And then come up here and do the mapping, the tables, and your relations. When you're ready, come get your mastery check.